In this episode of Food Service Worker, we're going to be answering a viewer's question about orientation and what my first day experience was like on the job. So, first disclaimer, I am still battling a sinus infection, so I'm congested still, and I may go into coughing sprees maybe in this video. Hopefully not. I don't know. It just depends on when my throat gets itchy. So I'm gonna try to get through this as fast as possible. So a viewer asked me a question. They've already long asked this question. So back in February, I think is when they had asked. I think it was like February 15th. This person asked this question. I mean, and I didn't even know that they had asked that question. And here it is, like March 10th, and I'm just now getting to making this video. It's ironically crazy. So what you can probably expect for orientation for those of you who are probably gonna get in food service with like maybe a jail or a prison. Take in mind that these places are different. The environment is totally different. You may end up with a high population or small population, and those facilities may be a high risk facility, and you might be dealing with more dangerous inmates or more hostile ones. It just depends. I don't want to misguide you and say that they won't put violent offenders in there with you at all. But I can just say from my experience, when I was working in the county, all of my offenders were mainly probation violation, DUI, drugs, mainly just like non really violent offenders. So they may have had some maybe small domestic violence stuff, but no murderers or rapists were in there. So, by the way, if you work in a facility, you probably expect to get something like what I have, which is a upper respiratory infection mixed with a sinus infection. So if you're prone to those types of things, be prepared. You're probably going to get sick soon. Yeah. So, anyways, thus being said, so it just depends on what environment you get put in and the location you're going to be working at. You know what I mean? So it's hard to really say for sure whether you'll be in there with hostile inmates. Some of them actually may pretend like they're badass, as you could say, that they'll whoop your ass type stuff. If you're soft, maybe they will, maybe they won't. More likely, if you're a female, they're gonna just like try to. I guess the best way is use you for however long they can. So, hate to say it, but the females who are food service workers are the ones that get exploited the most. Mainly because, I hate to say it, females, not all of them are strong enough to like talk these guys down. And I don't mean like disrespecting them, but I'm just like putting it down, shutting it down, and telling them you ain't part of that. You know what I mean? And you don't appreciate them talking to you like that. They're asking to bring some contraband in for them or to get you something like that. That stuff needs to be dealt with right away. You need to shut that down fast and don't let them talk to you like that. Because the minute you do, you are done. And I'm going to leave it at that because you can check out some of my other videos that I've talked about. in future videos that may be talked about to enlighten people who may think about getting in food service in county or Department of Corrections with inmates. I've never worked in a female prison, so I can't give advice on a female prison. However, I have heard that the female prisons are kind of worse smelling than the male prisons are, I guess you could say, because there's a lot of dirty girls in those prisons, apparently. I don't know whether that's true or not, but females, they give off a bad pH, you know what I mean? Sadly. A lot of the females that don't take care of their pH balance and all that good stuff for their area where their Gucci pocket is, you know what I'm saying? Trying to keep it kind of on the G-rated side. They get that pheromone kicking up, you know, kind of like some bumblebee, like tuna. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Whereas you have guys who, I don't know, I don't really go smelling the guys at all, but I can say that I work around a lot of the guys, and I don't notice any of them that smell bad at all. But I can ironically tell when a girl is kicking off some bad pheromone, ironically. So, I don't know. Does that mean I'm gay or something? I don't know. Anyways, I'm married, by the way, to a woman. So, I've just leave it at that. Never mind. So, my personal life doesn't really matter, anyways, to a lot of people. If you're interested, it's cool. But anyways, getting back to the subject here. So I've never worked at a female prison, and I don't think I would ever want to. In fact, if and when I do leave my current position, I'll never return to one of those facilities again, because the stress level at these places are astronomical. The inmates are notorious for stealing, and that's no surprise to anybody. But it's a constant battle with that stuff every day. And then it's like, if you give them something, they expect it every day. Otherwise, then they don't want to work for you. Their productivity for them kind of deteriorates. They don't want to do nothing. They complain about stuff all the time. They're kind of like adult kids that complain that they don't get paid to do this stuff. No kidding, dude. You are in prison, man. If you think you should be paid to commit a crime and then be able to have a job in prison, that's crazy talk right there. You know what I mean? Especially working in the kitchen. They already get as much food as they want to eat compared to any of the other people in the whole institution as it is. So, with that being said, these guys cook all kinds of stuff, and then they try to steal it and take it out of the kitchen. They pass it off on carts, food carts, to get to other dorms. They pass off contraband on the food carts. You know, so they do all kinds of stupid stuff to pay debts, to send stuff to their broskies. They hide stuff under food carts. Like, I've been told that actually a lot of the times these guys will try to pass off stolen tablets by putting them under the food carts, man, that are taken from the chow hall. Somebody will get a tablet in somehow, and then they will try to send it to another dorm and put it up underneath the food cart somehow with something under it. And then that person will expect that tablet, and it was stolen from somebody else. So there's a bunch of other things they hide under the food carts, but I've seen them sneak stuff under trays that weren't supposed to be on the food cart, And I mean, the crazy stuff is astronomical. Most recently, I actually should I actually think I'll just leave that out of this video and do it in another video, for inmates who, the way inmates try to sneak things out of the kitchen, probably video. So yeah, that'll probably be safe for that episode. Anyways, though, I know I wasted a lot of time ranting about stuff, so I'm gonna run you through stuff. So, depending on what location you actually work at, will depend on the environment that it'll possibly be. It could be hostile, or it might be a little bit more mellow. You may have a CO with you in there, which is a corrections officer who is assigned to the kitchen to make sure that they make sure you don't get hurt by one of these inmates. Or you might just be in there with you and a couple other of your coworkers, and you may have, if you're lucky, access to a radio or radios so that you can communicate with COs in the other areas of the facility. So, with that being said, though, the environments vary, and orientation depends on the location as well. So, in your job, you may have a orientation for your job, right? Where your job that you work for, depending on what the food company that has a contract with whatever area you're going to be working at has. So they may talk to you and a bunch of other people, maybe in a room or on a Zoom chat or something like that. I don't know how they're doing the whole interview things and orientations now, but I know when I was doing my orientation for the one company, I did it on a Zoom chat back when it was the whole COVID era. So me and like a bunch of other people got on Zoom and we talked about stuff. They did a little bunch of videos, had us do some quizzes and stuff like that, like PREA and security level clearances and stuff like that, and understanding how like inmates may use you to get what they need. And also, if you go to like the actual institution, then you may be trained at those institutions with a corrections officer who is a instructor who has a lot of years in that facility and maybe some other ones, and knows how things go in those places, and they're going to tell you is not BS. They're going to tell you stuff that happens in those places, especially that place maybe too, that are not BS at all. It is 100% true, what they tell you or what he or she may tell you. And if you feel that it's BS, then when you take it as a joke, you'll find out. So anyway, though, so you will end up having probably an orientation with the company you work for, and then the facility, and your first day will be a real eye opener for the temperature that you're going to experience in there, because the temperatures in these kitchens, some of them are not AC'd at all. And man, if you're in a kitchen in Florida, for example, man, I can tell you now that you're not going to like summertime at all, because with all the stuff they use to cook with, that kitchen is going to get steamy and hot. So, yeah. And with the loud noises, the inmates arguing, you may have guys that are banging trays to get food from out of the trays from another meal they had. other noise going on in the kitchen, so that's the type of environment. It's loud. It's not the best smelling. Um, it's not the cleanest. The floors are not always the best at all. You may run into pests, I should say. The ones that you don't want to take home with you. And I'll let you figure out what type of pests they are, but let's just say that if they hitch a ride home with you, you'll probably have pest control and all that at your house. And by the way, since there's normally food on the floors from the guys or girls who don't know how to like put food on a tray or whatever, you'll be stepping all over that stuff and tracking it all under your shoes so that when you go to get into your car, you have nice prison or jail food on your nice car floorboard and maybe even track it into your house. So enjoy those good times of a hot kitchen with loud noises, stuff that breaks down. Because stuff is going to break down, by the way. You're going to probably come in and things are great, and then you're going to go be off for a couple of days. You're going to come back and things have changed dramatically. Or you may come into the facility and stuff is not working. Don't be too surprised. Kettles don't work. Ovens don't work. Ice maker don't work. Stuff doesn't work. Dish machine doesn't work. A lot of complaining that nothing works in this place at all. Everything is broken. Works today, broken tomorrow. A bunch of inmates were there. A bunch of them were taken out. You have new inmates now. That happens a lot. It is a doozy. And that is why my actual CEOs call it the food circus. So that's where we have come up with that cool name, thanks to them, the food circus. So that said, that wraps up this episode here because it's already 11 o'clock at night here on March 10th, 2024. And I'll see you all in another episode coming right up. So check out that episode. I'll do one more for March 10th and then I'll go flatline for a while on trying to think of a creative YouTube video, but the next one after this one won't be so great, so it'll be just as useless as this one was. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in future episodes.